If you're over 60 and eating these so-called heart-healthy foods every day, you could be setting yourself up for a heart attack, and your doctor probably hasn't told you why. My name is Heart Health after 60, and 3 years ago, my father had a massive heart attack at age 67. He did everything right. He ate whole grains, avoided red meat, used vegetable oil like his doctor recommended. But here's what shocked us. The emergency room cardiologist told us that some of the foods he thought were protecting his heart were actually the ones that nearly killed him. After that terrifying day, I spent hundreds of hours researching the latest cardiology studies, interviewing heart specialists, and uncovering the truth about what foods are truly safe after 60. What I discovered will probably shock you, because the food industry and even some well-meaning doctors are still promoting foods that science now shows can be dangerous for aging hearts. In the next 22 minutes, I'm going to reveal 5 heart-healthy foods you should stop eating after 60, and more importantly, what you should eat instead to actually protect your heart. Now, before we dive in, please grab a pen and paper because you'll want to write these down. And make sure you watch until the end because food number 5 is the most dangerous, and it's probably sitting in your kitchen right now. If you find this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button. It helps more seniors discover this life-saving information. All right, let's get started with the first food you need to stop eating today. Food number 1, whole grain bread. I know what you're thinking. Wait, my doctor told me to eat whole grains for heart health. And yes, for decades, whole grain bread has been marketed as the healthy choice, especially for seniors. But here's the problem that most doctors don't tell you about. After age 60, your body's ability to process carbohydrates changes dramatically. Your insulin sensitivity decreases, and even healthy whole grains can cause dangerous blood sugar spikes that directly damage your heart and arteries. Let me explain the science. When you eat whole grain bread, it breaks down into glucose very quickly, almost as fast as white bread. A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that in adults over 60, whole grain bread caused blood sugar spikes up to 140 milligrams per deciliter within just 30 minutes of eating. Why is this dangerous for your heart? Because these repeated blood sugar spikes cause something called glycation. That glycation, where excess sugar in your bloodstream literally sticks to the walls of your arteries, making them stiff and inflamed. This is one of the leading causes of heart disease in seniors. But here's what makes it even worse. Most commercial whole grain breads contain hidden ingredients that are terrible for aging hearts. Check the label on your bread right now. You'll probably find high fructose corn syrup, soybean oil, and preservatives. These additives cause inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. Dr. William Davis, a cardiologist and author of Wheat Belly, has treated thousands of patients over 60, and he found that when they eliminated wheat and grains from their diet, their heart health markers improved dramatically within just 30 days. Blood pressure dropped, arterial inflammation decreased, and many were able to reduce their heart medications. Now, I'm not saying whole grains are poison for everyone, but after 60, your body simply doesn't process them the same way it did when you were younger. The risk outweighs the benefits. So, what should you eat instead of whole grain bread? I'll give you 3 better options at the end of this video. But first, let's talk about food number 2, which is even more surprising. Food number 2, low-fat yogurt. This one surprises most people because yogurt is supposed to be healthy, right? It's full of probiotics, calcium, protein. But here's the dirty secret about low-fat yogurt that the food industry doesn't want you to know. When they remove the fat from yogurt, they have to replace it with something to make it taste good. And what do they add? Sugar. Lots and lots of sugar. Pick up a container of popular low-fat yogurt brands like Yoplait, Dannon, or even some Greek yogurts, and look at the nutrition label. Most contain between 15 to 25 grams of sugar per serving. That's more sugar than a glazed donut. Some flavored varieties have as much as 30 grams, equivalent to 7 teaspoons of pure sugar. For seniors over 60, this is absolutely devastating for heart health. Here's why. Your aging heart is particularly vulnerable to the inflammatory effects of sugar. A landmark study from Harvard School of Public Health followed over 40,000 adults for 15 years and found that seniors who consumed high amounts of added sugar had a 38% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to those who limited their sugar intake. But the problem with low-fat yogurt goes beyond just the sugar content. When you eat sugar without fat, your blood sugar spikes even higher because there's no fat to slow down the absorption. This causes your pancreas to release massive amounts of insulin, and over time, this insulin resistance is a direct pathway to heart disease. Dr. Aseem Malhotra, a British cardiologist, calls low-fat products one of the biggest mistakes in nutrition advice. He's treated countless patients over 60 who were eating low-fat yogurt every morning for breakfast, thinking they were being healthy, while their triglycerides and inflammation markers were through the roof. There's another hidden danger in low-fat yogurt. Many brands add thickeners and stabilizers to make up for the missing fat. Ingredients like carrageenan and modified food starch have been linked to increased inflammation and gut problems, which directly affect heart health. Remember, your gut health and heart health are intimately connected. The probiotic benefit you're hoping to get from yogurt, it's largely destroyed by the pasteurization process, and the high sugar content actually feeds bad bacteria in your gut, not the good bacteria you want. So if you love yogurt, here's what to do instead. Choose full, fat, plain Greek yogurt with no added sugar. Add your own fresh berries for sweetness. Your heart will thank you. The natural fat in full-fat yogurt actually helps protect your cardiovascular system and keeps you satisfied longer. Now, let's move on to food number 3, and this one might make you angry because it's been marketed to seniors for decades as heart healthy. Food number 3, fruit juice. Even 100% pure, no sugar added fruit juice. I know, you're probably thinking, but it's natural. It's from fruit. How can fruit juice be bad? Let me tell you a story that will change how you think about juice forever. Last year, I spoke with a cardiologist in Florida who told me about a 8-year-old patient who came in with dangerously high triglycerides and early signs of heart failure. This patient was confused because he thought he was eating healthy. He'd replaced his morning soda with fresh squeezed orange juice, drinking about 16 ounces every day. Here's what the doctor discovered. That 16 ounces of orange juice contained 52 grams of sugar and virtually zero fiber. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber slows down sugar absorption and feeds your healthy gut bacteria. But when you drink orange juice, even fresh squeezed, 100% pure juice, you're getting a massive sugar bomb that hits your bloodstream like a freight train. Think about it this way. It takes about 4 to 6 oranges to make 1 glass of juice. Would you ever sit down and eat 6 oranges in one sitting? Of course not. But when you drink juice, you're consuming all that sugar in just a few minutes without any of the beneficial fiber that protects your heart. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 13,000 adults for 6 years and found that people who drank just 1 glass of fruit juice per day had a 24% higher risk of developing heart disease compared to those who didn't drink juice at all. For seniors over 60, that risk jumps even higher because your body's ability to process fructose, the sugar in fruit, declines significantly with age. Here's another problem. The American Heart Association recommends that men over 60 consume no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day, and women no more than 25 grams. Just 1 glass of orange juice puts you at or over that limit before you've even eaten breakfast. But the worst part? Fruit juice causes your blood sugar to spike rapidly, then crash hard about 2 hours later. This roller coaster effect is incredibly stressful on your heart and can trigger irregular heartbeats, especially in seniors who already have some cardiovascular issues. Now, I'm not saying fruit is bad. Whole fruit is wonderful for you. Berries, apples, pears, these are excellent choices because they contain fiber that protects your heart. But drinking fruit juice, even the expensive cold-pressed varieties, is essentially liquid sugar that your aging heart doesn't need. If you love the taste of fruit juice, here's what to do. Eat the whole fruit instead, or make a smoothie with the whole fruit and some healthy fat like avocado or nut butter to slow down sugar absorption. Your heart will thank you. All right, we're halfway through, and the next 2 foods might shock you even more. Let's talk about food number 4, and this one is in almost every senior's pantry: vegetable oil and margarine. Food number 4. Vegetable oil and margarine, specifically soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, and any spread that claims to be heart healthy or cholesterol free. For decades, we were told that these oils were better for our hearts than butter or animal fats. The American Heart Association put its heart check stamp on margarine. Doctors told us to cook with vegetable oil instead of butter or lard. But here's the truth that's finally coming out. This advice may have been one of the biggest mistakes in nutrition history. Let me tell you why vegetable oils are so dangerous for seniors over 60. These oils are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, omega-6 isn't inherently bad. Your body needs some of it. But the problem is the ratio. Your body needs a balance of omega-3 to omega-6 of about 1 to 1, or at most 1 to 4. But the average American senior is consuming a ratio of 1 to 20, or even 1 to 30. This massive imbalance causes chronic inflammation throughout your entire cardiovascular system. Dr. James DiNicolantonio, a cardiovascular research scientist, has published over 200 papers on heart health, and he calls vegetable oils one of the most toxic foods you can put in your body after age 60. He's found that the oxidized omega-6 fatty acids in these oils directly damage the lining of your arteries, making them more prone to plaque buildup and blockages. Here's what happens. When vegetable oils are heated, which happens during cooking and during the manufacturing process, they oxidize and create harmful compounds called lipid peroxides. These compounds are literally toxic to your heart cells. A study from the University of California found that seniors who cooked with vegetable oils had significantly higher levels of oxidized LDL cholesterol, the most dangerous type of cholesterol that causes heart attacks. But it gets worse. Most vegetable oils are highly processed. They're extracted using chemical solvents like hexane, then bleached and deodorized at extremely high temperatures. By the time that bottle of vegetable oil reaches your kitchen, it's already rancid at a molecular level, even if it doesn't smell bad. And margarine? It's even worse. Even though most margarines now claim to be trans fat-free, they still contain small amounts of trans fats and other artificial compounds that your body doesn't recognize as food. Your liver has to work overtime to process these foreign substances, and for seniors over 60, this extra stress can be devastating. I spoke with a cardiologist in Boston who told me about a fascinating experiment he did with his own patients. He had them stop using vegetable oils and margarine for 90 days and switch to butter, olive oil, and avocado oil instead. Within 3 months, their inflammation markers dropped by an average of 40%, and many saw improvements in their cholesterol ratios, even though they were eating more saturated fat. Now, you might be thinking, but won't saturated fat clog my arteries? This is another myth we need to bust. Recent studies, including a massive review published in the British Medical Journal, found no association between saturated fat intake and heart disease in adults over 60. In fact, some saturated fat is necessary for hormone production and cell membrane health, especially as you age. So what should you use instead of vegetable oil? I'll give you the best alternatives at the end of this video. But first, we need to talk about food number 5, the most dangerous one, and I guarantee this one is in your kitchen right now. Breakfast cereal. Food number 5, breakfast cereal. Yes, even the ones that claim to be heart healthy, whole grain, or high in fiber. I know this might be the most controversial item on this list, because breakfast cereal has been a staple of American mornings for generations. But let me show you why this so-called healthy food is quietly destroying senior hearts across America. First, let's talk about what's actually in that box of cereal. Pick up any popular cereal brand, even the ones marketed specifically to seniors like Cheerios or Special K, and look at the ingredients. The first ingredient is usually refined grain, followed by multiple forms of sugar. They might disguise it by calling it corn syrup, rice syrup, maltodextrin, or dextrose, but it's all sugar. A bowl of most breakfast cereals contains anywhere from 12 to 20 grams of sugar. That's 3 to 5 teaspoons of sugar first thing in the morning. And when you add the milk, you're adding even more sugar. For seniors over 60, starting your day with this massive sugar load is like setting off a bomb in your cardiovascular system. But here's what makes breakfast cereal especially dangerous. It's a high glycemic load food, meaning it causes your blood sugar to spike dramatically and rapidly. Dr. David Ludwig, an endocrinologist at Harvard Medical School, conducted a study that showed eating high glycemic breakfast foods like cereal actually makes you hungrier and causes more overeating later in the day. This creates a vicious cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes that stress your heart all day long. Let me tell you about a patient story that really drives this point home. A cardiologist friend of mine in Arizona had a 72-year-old patient who was eating a bowl of Raisin Bran every morning because her doctor told her she needed more fiber. She was doing everything else right, exercising, taking her medications, but her blood pressure wouldn't come down, and she was gaining weight around her midsection, which is the most dangerous type of weight for heart health. My friend had her eliminate the cereal and replace it with eggs and vegetables for breakfast. Within 6 weeks, her blood pressure dropped 20 points, she lost 8 pounds, and her energy improved dramatically. She couldn't believe that one simple change made such a massive difference. Here's another problem with breakfast cereal: the extrusion process used to make it. Most cereals are made by pushing grain through machines at extremely high temperatures and pressures. This process destroys most of the nutrients and creates compounds that can actually damage your DNA and accelerate aging. It also oxidizes the small amount of oils in the grain, creating the same harmful lipid peroxides we talked about with vegetable oils. And those heart-healthy claims on the box, they're based on outdated science from the 1960 seconds and 70 seconds. The FDA allows cereal companies to put heart health claims on their boxes if they contain oats or are low in fat, regardless of how much sugar or processed ingredients they contain. It's absurd, but it's legal, and millions of seniors fall for it every single day. Even the cereals that claim to be high in fiber are problematic. The fiber they add is often isolated, processed fiber like inulin or chicory root, which doesn't have the same benefits as the natural fiber found in whole vegetables and fruits. And for some seniors, this type of fiber can actually cause digestive issues and inflammation. So if cereal is off the table, what should you eat for breakfast? Don't worry, I'm about to give you delicious alternatives that will actually protect your heart instead of harming it. But first, let me quickly recap the 5 foods we've covered today. What to eat instead. Alright, so we've talked about what not to eat. Now let's talk about what you should eat instead. These are the foods that will actually protect your heart after 60. Instead of whole grain bread, eat low-carb alternatives like almond flour bread, coconut flour wraps, or better yet, lettuce wraps. If you must have bread, sourdough made with traditional fermentation is your best option because the fermentation process breaks down much of the problematic compounds. Just limit it to 1 slice and eat it with plenty of healthy fat and protein. Instead of low-fat yogurt, eat full-fat, plain Greek yogurt or Icelandic skyr with no added sugar. Add your own fresh berries, a handful of nuts, and maybe a drizzle of raw honey if you need sweetness. The natural fat in full-fat yogurt helps regulate your blood sugar and keeps you satisfied for hours. It also helps your body absorb the calcium and vitamin D, which are crucial for heart health after 60. Instead of fruit juice, eat whole fruits, especially berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries are packed with antioxidants that protect your heart and have relatively low sugar content. If you want something to drink, try herbal tea, green tea, or just add a squeeze of fresh lemon to water. If you really want the fruit flavor, make a smoothie with whole fruit, leafy greens, some healthy fat like avocado or chia seeds, and unsweetened almond milk. Instead of vegetable oil and margarine, use extra virgin olive oil for low-heat cooking and salad dressings, avocado oil for high-heat cooking, and yes, real grass-fed butter in moderation. Coconut oil is also excellent for cooking. These fats are heart protective and won't oxidize and damage your arteries the way vegetable oils do. When shopping, look for oils in dark glass bottles and always check the expiration date. Instead of breakfast cereal, eat eggs cooked in butter or olive oil with vegetables. This combination gives you high-quality protein, healthy fats, and fiber, everything your heart needs to start the day right. If you want something quicker, try full-fat plain yogurt with nuts and berries, or a smoothie made with protein powder, spinach, berries, and healthy fats. Another great option is chia pudding made with coconut milk. It's high in omega-3 fatty acids and fiber. The key principle here is this: after 60, your heart needs real, whole foods, not processed products with health claims on the package. Focus on foods your great-grandmother would recognize. Vegetables, fruits, eggs, fish, nuts, seeds, and yes, some quality meat and dairy. Keep your carbohydrates low to moderate, and make sure every meal contains protein and healthy fat to keep your blood sugar stable. So there you have it, the 5 so-called heart-healthy foods you should stop eating after 60, and what to eat instead to actually protect your heart. I know this is a lot of information to process, and it might contradict advice you've been following for years. But the science is clear. Our understanding of nutrition and heart health has evolved dramatically in the past decade, and it's time to update our approach, especially for seniors. Before you go, I want to give you a free gift. I've created a printable PDF guide called the Heart Healthy Grocery Shopping List for Seniors that includes everything we talked about today: what to avoid, what to buy, and even some simple meal ideas to get you started. You'll find the link to download it in the description below this video. If this information was helpful to you, please do 3 things. First, hit that thumbs up button. It helps more seniors discover this life-saving information. Second, subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon, because I'll be releasing a new video next week about the 5 best exercises for heart health after 60 that don't involve walking or running. And third, share this video with any friends or family members over 60 who need to hear this information. You might literally save someone's life. Drop a comment below and let me know. Which of these 5 foods surprised you the most? And which one will be the hardest for you to give up? I read every single comment, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Remember, it's never too late to make changes that protect your heart. Your heart is a muscle, and with the right nutrition, it can become stronger and healthier even after 60. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of that heart.